This bone broth is so good.
Hey guys, welcome back. We are at our little Dents and Ben's store. We grow a lot of our own food, but this is like once a month trip that we take. Hannah's been wanting yogurt. Where are you, Hannah Birdie? Our cow is in milk, but she's just giving us enough milk to consume for drinking and not enough for yogurt. And so we can get it relatively inexpensive here if they have organic. Usually it's like 2 for $1. So let me show you this eclectic little place. I've been coming here since I was probably a teenager. And we love to come here for snacks, but now that we've kind of moved away from like processed snacks, even though there's health food snacks, like the healthier options, they're not always the best options. And so we've moved away from them and start making our own. So we come here for, you know, yogurt, coffee. What else? Oh, kombucha, because I stopped making kombucha. I left my SCOBY dye by accident. And I'm going to see if they have some kombucha here. So let's go.
Oh, it's not vegan mac and cheese.
No, it's vegan mac and cheese. Oh, that's still on date. I know, don't you want any British blends?
Non-sweet sour. But no, I don't want it. No, this looks good.
No, don't think so.
What is it?
How much is it? Let me see.
It's $2.99. $3.
No.
How much cheese is
Did you get it? That's fat free, honey. Oh, did you get it? Let me see. All right, sounds good. Let's see. We'll get a bunch.
We just got a basket. Can we go to a basket about
No. All right.
We each get our own pocket. Yeah, Mom.
We were successful, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always a hit or miss when you go into places like this. And it's a lot of digging, a lot of rooting. We went in for yogurt. We did not find big tubs of organic, whole fat yogurt.
No, you
so-
can have much, Mom. I know.
That was a bummer, but we did get little containers of Skyr yogurt. It's a thicker, yeah, we're spraying our hands with our thieves
Gosh, those are so creamy.
spray because it's kind of dirty in there too. It's quite an experience, I would say, right? It's always an experience in there. So I'm always like, clean your hands, because we always find some goodies that we like to eat when we get to the car. I don't know if you guys do that. But we didn't find kombucha, but we did find Kavita probiotic drink. So this is something that is yummy. So we got a couple cases of that, and I think that was like $3 a case. I'll show you some more stuff when we get home, but this is kind of what we're diving into now. And then there's always little treats that we find too, and we have to really control ourselves.
We have to chips.
We have to really control ourselves, because there's a lot of things that back in my old self days I would have just packed the cart full of, like the Annie's organic mac and cheeses, the you know, those current health food trends, like the paleo granola, even like a lot of the granola bars, like the organic granola bars or protein bars. I would have just packed my cart full of those. And now I just know better that those are still filled with yucky ingredients that, even though if they're organic, they just make us feel bad. Not saying we don't ever get those, but we do when we go away. If like we go to the cabin or if we're on a road trip, we will splurge and get a few of those. But a lot of times we just make a lot of homemade snacks. But one thing we do splurge on is when we find in the chocolate aisle, when we find Justin's peanut butter cups or yeah, we got the whole bag at a really good deal. This was $1 for, I don't even know, 8 Justin peanut butter cups. And we pay, were there 10? And we pay
8, 9, 10, yes.
like $3.30, almost $4 for one of these when we go to the health food store as a little treat, and we always just kind of share. We just, so it's perfect. We get 2 containers and then we share. We each get 1 just for a little treat. But yeah, I'll show you what else we got when we get home. But right now we are running some more errands. All right, since we did not find yogurt in bulk quantity, I'm running to the milk shed that I normally get milk at when our cow is not in milk. It's raw milk, $6 a gallon, and it's beautiful, rich, thick Jersey milk. And so my husband often asks me, why do you want a cow if we can easily run down the road and get raw milk? I think for me, it's just the fact of having access to milk right on my farm, and I don't know, the whole full circle of just doing it ourselves. But from time to time, when, like right now, Annabelle's not giving a whole lot of milk, and we're looking into ways that we can increase her milk supply, then I will run here just to get, milk to make yogurt if I don't find it, at our Dents and Dents store. So I'll show you how to make yogurt later too. Boots off in the house.
It is a boot. And something you have with them. I'm just looking at them. Can we have one of these? Mom, can we have one
No,
of these?
not yet.
Lunch?
Okay, well, I was hoping for a haul. These Dents and Dents stores that we live near, they are hit or miss. You never know what they're gonna have. And that's kind of the fun of the hunt. So let me show you what we did find. Again, I told you that we got some yogurts to use for culture. I'm gonna show you how I make yogurt later this afternoon. This is something I went and I was not expecting to buy, but this is an organic herbal sleepy time tea with chamomile, rose hips, dandelion, echinacea. Those are for immune boost. And what else does it have in it? I know it had something else. Oh, valerian. It's really chock full of good things. Rose hips, ginger, cinnamon bark, licorice. Super excited about this. There was 2 of them. I bought 2 of them. I bought them both. I mean, this place has everything. I did get some tortilla chips. They're non-GMO, but they're not organic. But guys, we are not 100% perfect. No one is. And so yes, we buy chips. We buy, some snack foods here and there. But I think the moral of this trip, this reason I'm doing this video, is just because something is cheap, something is convenient, doesn't mean it makes it good for you. And so we really have to think about that when we're shopping, when we're making choices in the grocery store. And for us, we have these Dents and Dents Amish and Mennonite stores all around us. It's pretty much like secondhand stores for groceries. When it doesn't sell in the grocery store, or if it's coming close to the expiration date, or even past expiration date, it goes to these stores, and we can buy food really cheap. And a lot of times there's a lot of great organic or quote unquote health food trends in foods that we can purchase at a cheap price, and it's convenient. And I got sucked into that so many times, so long ago when I was on my own, as a wife, caring for our home, trying to plan meals for our children. And what I found is my kids would gravitate then towards that food rather than real food. So anytime those packaged Annie's bunnies or granola bars would come into the house, there was lack of self-control, and they would want to eat them and eat them and eat them all. And so, right? You're laughing. You know it's true. And so we do, from time to time, buy that processed food. You know, I've spoken before just a couple videos ago, and maybe you've heard on Instagram, you know, just me talking about industrialized seed oils and, you know, trying to stick with more wholesome fats like lard and tallow and butter and olive oil and avocado oil. But, you know, those things that we do bring into the home, there are occasions, you know, mayonnaise. I do not like homemade mayonnaise. I just don't. And so, yes, I will opt for the unhealthy stuff. But 80% or 90% of what we are bringing into our home is fresh ingredients, or we're growing it in our garden, or we're processing our own meats. And so, you know, no one can be 100%, but I want to encourage you guys, when you're going to these grocery stores, you're going to discount grocery stores, cheap and convenient always isn't the best. And so, you know, instead, here's what we did get. We got a big bag of oranges. This was $7, $8, okay? Quite comparable to the, you know, the grocery store, a little cheaper. I got some broccoli because we're making some baked potato bar. We're making a baked potato bar for lunch today, so broccoli. Hannah said this smells amazing. I can't wait to have this tonight. Ugh, does smell amazing for bedtime. And then these stores have random things like wash rags, and we needed some more wash rags for the cow, for, you know, cleaning the cow up, and those are just wash rags just for cow udders. The teats, right? The teats. I also needed contact solution, so $8 for a 2-pack. That is so much more reasonable than going to Target. So I could totally get caught up in buying so much convenient food there, even though it looks like health food. Convenient, you know, health food. Junk food is junk food, right? One is just made with a little bit better ingredients, but it's still processed. And what I was finding, like I said, my kids would just gravitate towards that rather than eating the oranges or the apples or yogurt. Yeah. And so, oh, and we did pick up, this was a splurge too, some seltzer waters. We do like to have some seltzer waters every now and then. And that's quite a little treat. So, got a few things I wanted. Didn't get a few things that I was looking for. Came home with a little bit of everything. So. Okay, so I do prefer making my own yogurt. I've made it for many, many, many years, even though it is so much more convenient and cheaper to get it at that Dents store. Let me back up. It's not necessarily more convenient, because if I go there and they don't have it, then I'm like, oh, I wasted my time driving there, and then I spend money on things I don't necessarily need. So there are pros and cons to stores like that. But when you do find it, then usually I stock up. But like I said, I prefer making it. So we ran to the farm store, got some extra milk. My girls have been loving yogurt. We go in like these phases where they'll eat tons of it and then it'll sit for a while. I love using my Instapot for yogurt, and it's the only reason I got an Instapot. I vowed that I would never have an Instapot just because I didn't want instant quick meals, but I'm finding that I really do love it. For certain meals. But our yogurt maker broke. It was one where you had to heat up the milk on the stove and then pour it into like a glass container, and it was just kind of like a little incubator, and it did a half a gallon at a time. So I didn't have to worry about like those little cups. The glass jar broke, and I'm still left with the container. Let me show you what it looks like. Okay, here's the outside of my old yogurt maker. There was a glass jar. It was a half gallon jar. So you would heat the milk, let it cool, add your culture, like I'm gonna show you, and then you would put everything into that glass jar and let it sit and incubate in this. So I still keep this because if I make sour cream or any kind of cultured dairy, I can just put that mason jar in here and it keeps it at that constant temperature. I don't remember what it was, 110, I think. I should know this off the top of my head, but I don't. And it's a perfect temperature for culturing yogurt or sour cream. I tried the crock pot even on warm setting and it gets too warm. So yeah, I've moved on to the Instapot now. Let me show you how I use my Instapot to make yogurt. So I have an 8-quart Instapot and it has the yogurt setting. So what I'm gonna do is heat my milk up right here in my Instapot. I know some people will just put their cold milk in here, put their culture in, either a dry culture, like a powder that they get either from, you know, the health food store or online sources, or just yogurt from the batch before or yogurt from the grocery store. So like I said, I'm gonna use this Skyr yogurt, and it has a lot of different cultures in it. Let me read them to you. My kids ripped the whole label apart. Let me find it. After I put my milk in. So some people do that. They'll just put their cold milk in and then add their culture and turn it on yogurt, and their yogurt turns out great. I've tried that and had epic fails where it's just like creamy milk and it's gross. So I've just resorted back to the old way of doing it where I put my setting on saute. Let me show you. Again, I'm using raw milk, right? And I'm gonna hit the saute button, and I'm gonna bring this just below a boil, so 180 degrees. I'm gonna stir it constantly so it doesn't stick on the bottom, all right? And then once that hits 180 degrees, I'm gonna let it cool to 120 degrees, and that's when I'll add my culture, which is the store-bought Skyr yogurt. Okay, so here are the live active cultures in Skyr. I call it Skyr. Technically, it's Skyr. I call it Skyr. And technically, it's not a yogurt, is what I'm told. It's not a yogurt. It is completely different. It tastes like yogurt, though, I think. It's an Icelandic style of yogurt, so it's a style of yogurt. But here's the cultures that are in here, and I love this because there's so many different strains of cultures in this, rather than just going and getting yogurt off the shelf at the store, which has just lactobacillus. Usually yogurt just has one culture, one strain of bacteria, and that's lactobacillus. So this has Thermophilus, Bulgarius, Acidophilus, Bifidus, and Rhamnosus, if I'm saying those correctly. But it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strains of bacteria, which is excellent for gut health. And so the more cultures you can add to your diet, the better. So that's why we love fermented foods, we love yogurts, we love kefir, or some people say kefir. I go back and forth with it. And the more diversity you can have in your diet, the better. Instead of just popping probiotics, get it through your food, right? All right, can I see that temperature?
That's my strawberry.
All right, I had a phone call, and so
Thank you.
it was at 180, and I turned it off while I took my phone call. So now it's the long wait. We sit and wait. We let this sit and wait. To speed it up, you could put it in a bath of cold water. I like the slow process if I'm home. So we're gonna wait till this milk comes to 120, and then
115.
that's 115.
Or if you touch your finger and it's cool.
I've always done 120.
I've always done 110, but then lately I've been touching my finger.
Okay, so between 110 and 120, there are different methods. Gracie's been making the yogurt, and then she just passed it back to me because why?
It takes too long.
It takes too long, and she's like,
burn it.
she burns it. She likes to rush it, so she's passing the torch back to me. So we're gonna let that cool down, and then we'll add our culture. If you add your culture too soon, then or when it's too hot, then it'll just kill the culture, and then you will not get yogurt. So while we wait, we're gonna snack. I'm gonna show you guys how thick this yogurt is. Sometimes we strain ours and sometimes we don't. But look at this Skyr yogurt. It is like so thick. My word. So we're gonna snack on this. All right, perfect. You wanna grab that camera, turn it off, and bring it over? Okay, we reached a little over 110. I got a little distracted, but it's just warm enough to add the culture so that it sets and it takes. This is the yogurt I'm using, and I'm making a mess. It's dripping. But it's really thick skyr, a yogurt-like consistency.
No,
It's like a yogurt from Iceland. All right, I'm gonna add the whole container, and I'm gonna whisk it in, and then put the lid on and press the yogurt button, and I'm gonna let this go for a full 12 hours. So I'll let it sit in here overnight. The longer it sits, the tangier it gets, and the thicker it gets. Quiet.
Right.
Where's the lid to this? Do you have the lid to this? I think.
I practice. And you can start first. I don't care. Because you're just going to do. Well, I have to do that again. Okay. So, break those.
Okay, good morning. This is always the exciting part. Seeing if our yogurt got thick. So I'm gonna grab. It's warm, unseasonably warm here in January, and the flies are out. And my screen door is open. Look, my door is open. All right, ready? Let's check it out. It was a full 12 hours. It looks good.
Oh my word.
Holy moly.
My word, Mom.
Yeah.
Oh my. That's so good.
Should we strain it, or should we keep it like this? Okay.
That's like skyr yogurt.
Yeah. Okay. So this is plain. We do not add any flavor to this, though. Did we try vanilla bean in here at one point?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. And it didn't work. So I don't know. We did put a vanilla bean in one time while it was culturing. It didn't work. It didn't give too much vanilla flavor. We've tried vanilla bean paste as well. We just stick to plain yogurt. We add our homemade strawberry jam that we make, or honey, or maple syrup. We add granola to it. And so you can play around with it. We just like plain Jane yogurt. So this is good. You could actually strain it through some not cheesecloth, but like a muslin or a yogurt straining bag to make it extra thick, and then you have all that whey left over to use in other recipes, or to give to your chickens, or drink for extra protein, whatever you want. But once again, thanks for being here with us in this space and venturing with us to the Dents and Bents store yesterday and learning how to make yogurt. I'll list the process down below of just the process of how to make yogurt. It's not really a recipe, it's more of a process. And I'll also link my free Nourishing snack recipes below as well. That's something you can get on my website. It's completely free, but there's a ton of recipes in there to make homemade snacks rather than buying them at the grocery store. Blessings, and until next time.